Your beliefs become words, words become actions, actions become habits, and habits determine where you go. This is the Motivation Factor Podcast.
Hey friends, Michael Bain touching base with you, and you're on another episode of the Motivation Factor. Appreciate every single one of you guys and gals joining us today. I have a really special episode that we're going to actually get into right now. On the phone right now, I have none other than, you know what? Before I even introduce him, let me tell you a little bit about him. Some notable achievements. One, he has garnered over 2.2 million video views on his music video entitled Closer, which can be seen on his Facebook artist page. He also did a freestyle called the 10 Toes Down Challenge, which garnered over 500,000 views in just a few days to now having over 1.8 million views. And in this freestyle 10 Toes Down Challenge, personal note, totally poured his heart out on regarding addiction, and I actually teared up when I heard this. This really touched me. It was really good. And then last but not least, he actually did a song with Joyner Lucas entitled Until I Die off his previous album, Don't Look Back, which can be played obviously on all your favorite streaming platforms. So I'm speaking about no one other than A. Grace. A. Grace, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. So listen, that was a mouthful for me. So listen, let's get right into this. My goal in every podcast is to bring value-based content. So if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're an up-and-coming entrepreneur, and you're looking in any way, shape, or form to get into the music industry, or you're into social media, looking to get views, things like that, like this is for you. This podcast is for you. This episode is for you. So I'm going to get right into this with some questions. First things first, A. Grace, what motivated you to get into music altogether?
Honestly, since I was real young, since I can first remember, I would honestly say 4 or 5 years old since I first learned about music. I was singing on the back deck and the back porch, trying to entertain my family. I started writing songs at a super early age, around that, and I took up anything I could. I wasn't really sure down the road what my lane was going to be as far as acting, singing, but I always knew that I was going to be in some sort of entertainment. And I would say I think it started at that early age, and then into my teen years, I kind of switched my lane into the rapping as far as that, because that was the kind of the music I grew up on and I fell in love with more than any other genre.
Wow. Yeah, that makes total sense. And now, for those who maybe haven't seen your videos, for those who maybe haven't heard your music, how would you describe your music, to those people, to someone or that group of people that have never heard you before?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say mostly, first and foremost, hip-hop. It's a straightforward rap with some R&B involved. I definitely do some singing as well. I like to sing on some of my own hooks and whatnot. But I wouldn't say it's hardcore hip-hop, gangster rap, anything like that. But more of a motivational, upbeat, trying to get you through the tough times, shed some light on some topics that I think need to be talked about more than anything, and help people through their dark spots in life is what most of my music has been about through the past couple of years, especially.
Right on. And I can attest to that too, because hearing your music, knowing you for a while now, I would agree with that 100% with your lyrics. For those who listen to music to get lyrics out of it and use that to speak to them, I think that's one avenue that you definitely hit the nail on the head with. So good for that. Good for you. If you could have exactly your way right now, so regarding music, your career, your journey, what would you say your overall goal is with your music?
So I'd say probably there's two. First and foremost, like I said, it's for anyone that is struggling with any type of addiction, or any type of day-to-day problem, depression, anxiety, anything that they can't get through. It's a hope that my music can change their mind state and change their views on life. Maybe put them in a better place than they were the day before, the hour before, the minute, the second. It's mostly just to motivate people, but also just to put them in a good mood, to put them in listening to music that they can relate to, and to basically help people and make a change is first and foremost the most important thing to me. Secondly, I know obviously, if we all say that money doesn't matter at some points, but to a certain degree it does. I work a day-to-day job to be able to fund my music career for the most part as of right now. And I get a kickback, but nothing to where I could live off of. So I'd say the second part is just to make enough that I could live off of just making music so I can focus on putting my 110% heart and soul into it to help these people that I want to listen to it and make a change with. So maybe just to make enough off so I could live and tour off the music and that type of thing as well.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? That's good. That's real good. Regarding music, what do you think? And again, talking about your journey, your videos, your rapping, your collab. What are you most proud of to date?
Honestly, I would probably say it was the first video you mentioned, my Closer music video, that it had garnered that many views, not because of the view number itself, but just because how many comments it received with people tagging someone that they know or tagging someone that they think they needed to hear this. Please listen to this. I know you need to hear this. This is for you, type of things. And because of that, how many messages I saw, it really helped me a lot, because I went through a couple times where I thought, maybe I'll give up on music, or maybe I haven't seen enough recent progression. Maybe I should quit. And people reaching out to me and saying that one song changed their entire outlook or changed their entire life. Reading those messages was really moving and really inspiring for me when I needed it the most.
Wow. Okay. Appreciate you sharing that. That's good. What advice would you give an up-and-coming artist, right, who's looking for the views, who's looking for the engagements, and obviously who's looking to make a similar impact like you've made with some of the content you put out?
Well, first of all, take advantage of social media. Obviously, first thing you can do, hop on Michael Bain's motivational podcast. It's gonna be a big launch for you. No, but seriously, anything like this is huge for people on the come up that want to be up and coming artists, because anything you can do to take advantage to get your name out there and do it in a positive way, I think is the best thing for your music. And honestly, you just got to be consistent. And I myself struggle with that at times. And it's very hard, because as an artist, you go up and down with emotions as you're so happy one day, you feel like you're so close. Everything is just in your grasp. You just had 2 million views. Everything's right there for you. And then the next day, it seems like it can just vanish in the blink of an eye. So I think the most thing is just being able to deal with the highs and lows and just stay consistent and keep pushing and keep giving your all in your product and your brand.
That's good. Jumping off that, you speaking about the highs and the lows. When you've been at your lows in life during your whole music journey, what kept you from quitting?
I think it was just the constant reminder from the days when I started in high school of the peers, the teachers even saying that there's no way I could ever do that. I need to quit now while I'm ahead. I need to put it behind me and find a real career, that this would never pan out, that I would never be good enough. And I don't have Grammys on the shelf. It hasn't panned out all the way, but I've had enough successes and enough people reach out to me and say these type of things that my music has changed their life, to the point that it reassures me that this is what I need to be doing, regardless if it's everyone's favorite music or if I'm making millions of dollars. It's more about that I could change one person's life means enough to me that I kept going. And honestly, before not my most recent album, but the one before, Don't Look Back, I was in a tough spot in my life because I had lost 2 of my best friends.
Wow.
2 of them both passed away from addiction, which transpired into me making the Don't Look Back album about getting through those dark times, getting through addiction and not looking back because of those losses that I had.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I can't even imagine that. I'm sorry for your loss, but thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
For sure. This is a question that I like to ask all of my guests at some point in our collab and our going back and forth. If, knowing what you know now, if you could completely start over again, but you're able to take your experience and everything that you've done, from day one, what would you do differently, if anything at all?
I would have been way more consistent than I was, honestly. Like I mentioned before, I would have put in every ounce I had of my younger teenage years, when I didn't have as many bills, when I didn't have as many worries, into putting a single out every day on Music MySpace or a new video, a low budget video on Facebook or anything I could. And I think from my first or second album, when I had more of a budget, like I said, and less bills and less day-to-day activity, I would have used more of that money to just flood my Facebook views and flood my promotions into everyone's timelines. And I think I've had a better understanding of how to use those and do the ins and outs of social media. If I had that knowledge back then, I think I would have been a lot further than I am at the moment.
Wow. Okay, that's real. Okay, right on. Listen, regarding how you sleep at night, is there anything that keeps you up at night?
To be honest, as far as keeping me up at night, honestly, not with my music. Like I said, there's some stuff that I wish I could be doing differently. If I had a larger budget, I know I could do differently, but it doesn't keep me up at night. I'd say, honestly, my father's health maybe keeps me up at night. It's been a long time struggle, and a lot of things we've went throughout my lifetime. And I'd say probably, honestly, day to day, I'm fairly happy overall, and that's probably the only thing that I have trouble with sometimes.
Cool. All right. What 12 months from now, man? So, 5/23/2021. Where do you see yourself?
Man, I hope I've had a hit single on Jammin', played throughout the day, 3 or 4 times a day. I hope that I'm in the Billboard Top 100. I mean, people sometimes hear that kind of stuff and laugh, but it's even to be a one-hit wonder, it's not that far, man. You need that one song that just catches and everyone hears, and it's like people make fun of those kind of people, but they did something. They had that one hit. Who cares if that was it? They got their music and they got their message out, and if that's all it amounted to, at least you can say you did your best and that was out there. If I had one top number one hit on the Billboard 100, man, that would be good enough for me.
Man, it's so good you said that, man. I talk about that in a previous podcast I did, man, where you're literally, one decision, one moment, one more piece of whatever you're doing, piece of content work away from that breakthrough. So that's good, man. You're really speaking to me. I love this. We're vibing really well.
No, for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Last question for the viewers, for the listeners out there listening to this podcast right now that maybe have or maybe haven't, listened to your music yet. What would you say to them?
I would say please just give it a shot, listen to it with an open mind, especially if you do or don't like hip hop or rap music. It might not be the exact kind that you think of when you hear the word rap or when you hear the words hip hop. And I think if you go into it with an open mind and you're just into the lyricism of it, because I've always tried to not just pick catchy beats and not just make sure I'm saying stuff over them, but really try to spread a message or spread something that I think needs to be said and have a good time while I do it, that you can hear that in my music. And if you enjoy listening to new music and taking up something new, I think that my music would be for you. Like I said, as long as you have an open mind listening to it, I think I do make a great product, and I think eventually everything will catch on and click.
Your beliefs become words, words become actions, actions become habits, and habits determine where you go. This is the Motivation Factor Podcast.